Thanks for staying with us tonight. I'm Dustin Lukey. Having shelter is a basic human need, and too many people living in La Crosse struggle to find that shelter every day. And when surviving becomes the main focus, it can become hard for folks to move past that. Since well before the pandemic, homelessness has been on the rise in La Crosse. Now, a renewed effort is underway to get ahead of the issue. Tonight, News 19's Joe Minnie is digging deeper into La Crosse's homelessness crisis and what it might take to end it.
These are our neighbors that are living down there at Hoska Park and staying down there, and we really want what's best for them.
The city of La Crosse is facing a homeless crisis, with roughly 200 people currently living in unsheltered conditions.
They're exposed to the environment, so rain, heat, community bugs we've had. In the winter, obviously ice and snow. They don't sleep. Sleep is a critical factor for health. It's really hard to get nutrition. When you're out on the streets like this, you're exposed to things like violence and trauma, which affects the brain function and dumps hormones through the body, which is detrimental to health. So out on the streets, it's super hard to care for people's health.
There are so many barriers to accessing health care when you're experiencing homelessness, from transportation to things less commonly thought of, like knowing what time it is or what day it is. There was a woman the other week who she asked the date and she said, "Oh, it's my birthday." And you think about your own life and whether you might ever forget your birthday, the answer is probably no.
One woman who lives at Hoska says there are many factors preventing people from getting out of their situation.
Most of the people out here legitimately could not handle a job, whether it be physical disabilities or trauma-induced delayments or other things going on in life, because it's not always your personal screw-ups that lead you here.
Homelessness is the result of decades of policy and its broken systems. Some of it is skyrocketing housing prices and poverty and income inequality, but it's also underfunded mental health and inadequate addiction services.
A multifaceted problem requires multiple solutions.
We're talking about individuals, not a group of people, and they have unique needs, just like you and I have different needs.
There are people who need a single site. Like, they do better with a group of people. And we saw that happen at Econo Lodge. We saw groups start to form with support within those groups.
We need to be thinking about multiple different solutions that can help address these problems. And that's hard from a city and a county and a government perspective, but I believe this community has the resources and the expertise to do it.
The people of La Crosse want to help those in need, but it takes a lot of coordination to do so.
We want everything for our neighbors. We want a plan that can help immediately and become part of our long-term strategy in our community.
Overall, the solution is housing. We have in La Crosse a strategy on how we address this, and actually La Crosse was moving forward on the strategy until COVID hit.
The pandemic nearly doubled the city's unsheltered numbers, but a community of care is working to get back on track.
The collaboration is happening in our community. We are having meetings with a number of different community partners. The piece that's missing is that resources, a lack of resources.
And it probably will be many small projects like what was proposed at Maple Grove that I think had strengths and weaknesses, but ultimately we need to be creative like that and come up with some potential solutions.
And while an effort is underway to help, a quick fix isn't on the horizon.
The number of people experiencing homelessness didn't happen overnight. It took years in the making, and so it's unrealistic to expect that by the winter or by next summer this will be completely gone from our communities.
Those closest to the problem hope more people get involved.
If there would be landlords who would be willing to work with us on any level, you know, they could come down here and maybe talk to people. I'm not saying rent to everybody, because not everybody's on that place yet, you know what I mean? But everybody down here does have the potential, given the right help, I guess.
Right now what we're trying to do is put together that plan for how can the larger community come together and really rally around this crisis that we're facing.
I see how hard it is to change anything about one's life when you're unsheltered. When you're experiencing homelessness, I can't imagine fixing all of the things that need to be fixed so that you can become a contributing member of society again.
Multifaceted problem there. The renewed collaborative to end homelessness includes the Salvation Army, Independent Living Resources, Coulee Cap, plus local health systems and outreach services. Now combined, they are working with the city and county to bring about some of those long-term solutions. And